Hey guys, gonna show a video here. A lot of people probably know how to do this, but some people might not. So thought I'd make the video. You don't have to have a rogue for this. You can use your warrior. You need to be an herbalist, obviously. But this is a nice, quick, easy way where you don't have to worry about other people or bots farming grave moss. And grave moss is hard to find. There's really not a good spot, pardon me, to find it. And if you come on a rogue, you can get these locked ironbound chests, and you can also pickpocket for, obviously flash powder or whatever. So basically, you're just gonna come in, and if you're not on a rogue, you can just not kill these mobs. If you're on a 60 warrior or a 60, really 60 anything, paladin, mage, doesn't matter, hunter, you could kill the mobs. Sometimes they drop BOEs that are decent. Depends on your server. Like here's all the different BOEs that can drop. Like the butcher that sells for 80 gold. That offhand, it says it sells for 200 gold. I doubt it. Almost 200 gold. So there's some BOEs you can get. But you're going to come into the graveyard. So in the graveyard, there's 4 herbs that spawn. And they can either be King's Blood. So there's King's Blood there. It's really not even worth picking. Sometimes there's a chest here. And sometimes there's a chest here. So there's another ironbound chest there. But these herbs are either going to be King's Blood or grave moss. Sometimes all 4 of them will be King's Blood, and if that's the case, just run out and go to the next instance. What you're going to do is you're going to go from graveyard. You're not going to go to the cathedral. You're going to go from graveyard to the armory to the library, because in the armory and the library there is a guaranteed fade leaf. Well, there's a green there. So you can also sell the greens or disenchant the greens. So there's King's Blood, Grave Moss. There should be 2 other spawns. Grave Moss. So I got 2. Sometimes a rare will spawn in here as well. And you don't need great gear to do this. I'm basically pre-raid blues, crawl blade. You can see I'm really not struggling at all. You could be a fresh 60. You don't even really need to be 60. Oh, we got 3 there. That's awesome. Being 60 helps where you don't need to be stealth. You can just run around. Maybe it's only 3 nodes. I thought it was 4. Maybe it's only 3. I haven't done this farm in a while. I don't use as many shadow pots as I used to. But shadow pots, so I'm going to blow sprint to get out of here because I already know that the other one is a King's Blood. And by the time you get back to the graveyard, your sprint cooldown will be back up. See, like King's Blood only sells for 8 silver. I'm just junking that. Junking that. Put the greens down here. These are junk. 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 These only sell for 29 silver. I'll probably just keep them there for now. So I'll just keep all my greens together. Wool, junk. Okay, so you're not going to reset yet. You're going to run straight across. This is another place that helps to be level 60. So I pickpocket these guys because I think it's either these or the next one. Their junk boxes can have flash powder and blinding powder. So if you're a rogue, this is a good place to stock up on blinding powder. So right here in the middle, you see over there's life root, fade leaf. There's always a fade leaf in the middle. Always. It just changes. If it might be in this corner, it might be in this corner, it might be in the other corner. Bam, 3 fade leaf.
I can't do that yet.
So even if I had gotten lucky, so now I've got 5 grave moss and 3 fade leaf. Even if I had gotten lucky and all 3 of those nodes were grave moss, it's possible that I only got 3 because sometimes you only get 1 out of a node. So by coming over here and getting the fade leaf, you're essentially keep up because you need both of these in order to make shadow oil, which turns into you make the shadow oil, and then the shadow oil is a regent for shadow pots, shadow protection pots. Shadow protection pots are pretty much required for Naxx. So if you're gonna start doing Naxx soon, or if you're already doing Naxx, this was a great farm. So you're gonna come out here, there's a fade leaf right there. Sometimes it spawns right in the beginning. Sometimes there's a chest here. Sometimes there's a chest here. If you're level 60, you can just get this and get out. Not the most fun farm in the world, but it's uncontested. You don't, like I said, you don't have to worry about bots. There, look at that. 6 fade leaf, that's huge.
Not ready yet.
6 fade leaf, 5 grave moss in one go. But there's times you're going to go into the graveyard and all of those are going to be King's Blood. So now we're going to reset. So right click, reset all instances, and then you do it again. I don't think a fade leaf spawns in Cathedral. I think it's life root and Goldthorn. So I don't go into Cathedral. You can get enough just doing this. So now see, sprint has a minute left. So it should be pretty close to be able to sprint back out. And then when you get to, you can only do, I think it's 5 instances per hour. I go a little slower because I kill this group all the time. So I'll kill this group. Maybe I'll get something cool on stream, probably not. Sometimes you get enchanting recipes or different recipes out of the chests. Night Ski Cloak. So you can also farm potions. I mean, you could farm potions for your alts if you have alts. So I'm gonna look over in that corner. I don't see a chest. King's Blood, unfortunately, there's a chest there. This one's not locked. So again, if you don't bring a rogue, it's not the end of the world. You just can't open the locked chest unless you have, you know, keys. Keys or C4M charge, I think. Something to blast. Oh no, C4M charge, I think, is doors only. I'm just gonna get rid of this. I don't want this. So you can get some enchanting mats out of it at least. Grave Moss. Grave Moss. Got 2 Grave Mosses again. Let's see, I only got 1 that time. Something else you can do as part of this farm is you can level weapon skill. I do that sometimes. So like my daggers are only 292, maces are 296, which is pretty close, unarmed. So you can get some fist weapons. So if you get some weapons, if you have your warrior or whatever class you're playing, so, you know, because I'm not using poisons or anything. I actually don't even have any daggers on me. I think I put them in the bank. But you could come here and fight these and level up your weapon skill at the same time, so you don't feel like you're wasting time. Because like I said, it's not the most exhilarating farm ever. I mean, I know farming isn't usually fun, but and then you just run back out and you do it again. I actually this rogue was my second 60 on this server. I've had a rogue before. I specifically leveled this rogue for two reasons. One reason was to farm thorium for arcane crystals, and the other reason was to do this because I knew that I was going to need shadow pots for Nax, and I knew about this farm already.
Not ready yet.
And I wanted to be able to do it on my rogue because my warrior is not an herbalist, and my warrior is an engineer. I had to resist there. That's one of the downsides about doing this. But my warrior is I'm gonna pull a whole instance while I'm distracted here. My warrior is engineering and mining.
I don't have the energy.
Just gonna keep an eye on that guy and make sure he doesn't go the other direction. And it's not a big deal if you get slowed down because it's just, you know, how quickly can you hit the instance cap before you have to log out. And as a rogue, you can also kill time by opening your junk boxes. So here you see it's in this corner now. So if you're 60, you won't pull aggro. That's a life root again. I only got 2 that time, no big deal. So now I'm at 8 and 10. Throw stuff away while I'm walking. You don't need the Scarlet Key. You can pickpocket the store if you're pickpocketing high enough. I mean, you're lockpicking, not pickpocket. What the heck? There's not a fade leaf in here? Oh, there it is. I'm standing on top of it, that's why it's not showing. I didn't see it on my mini-map. I don't see a chest. If there's not a chest, it's not the end of the world. Usually don't get anything good anyway. So you can see if you're coming in here on a rogue and you're opening the chest, your bags are going to fill up probably in, you know, an hour or two. So come with some bag space. So you come out, reset, and just keep going until you hit the cap. And then I just log out here. That's probably what that mage was doing, is what I'm doing. They're probably farming herbs, or they're farming BOEs. And then so this character's not an alch, not an alchemist. This character's mining and herbalism. So this is basically my farming alt, and then I have a paladin that can that is an alchemist. But even if you don't have an alt that's an alchemist, you can just, once you have the mats, you can just have somebody in your guild make the shadow pots for you. The other thing you need is dream foil, but dream foil is pretty easy to farm. This stuff is a lot harder to farm out in the world, especially grave moss. There's pretty limited places where grave moss spawns, and this is the fastest and easiest way to get it. So, all right, hopefully that was helpful for some of you guys. I'll see you in the next one.